Good evening and welcome to the Hyperion Open Cup. I am your caster, Lemon Pepper. I'm joined here in the booth by Zoe. We've got a real fun one tonight. We've got Frost Nova taking on Danger Close. What do you make of this one, Zoe?
I mean, we had a great match last night that unfortunately ended 3-0 that I had the pleasure of casting. I think we've got another one on our hands today. Not been the best start to the season for Frosters, though. If I remember correctly, or Frost Nova, because I have confused those teams. But either way,
Fair enough.
not the
Fair
best,
enough.
not the best start
Mhm.
for Frost Nova. They're 0-2. They have taken a map in both their series, if I remember correctly, though. But Danger Close is currently ranked as the best team in the league. 0-2, have not lost a map so far. It Frost Nova's gonna have to bring their A game, and I believe they're capable of it. They're only a six-man roster, so we won't see any subs. It'll be interesting to see which of these DPS players are going to slot into support. But tank line is going to be Florida and Ricky. You got on DPS as Zeno, Early Vincent, and Thoromia, and Blazing Angel is picking up that support role. But like I said, they've got three DPS and one support, so someone's gonna have to shift. It'll be interesting to see who it is and what they play.
Well,
What do you
certain DPS aspects can, lend itself very well to that flex support role. I know for a fact Blazing Angel is a very high caliber main support, so I really feel like this team can sort of work around that possible lack of a lineup, ideal lineup there. You're looking at a tank line with Florida and Ricky. I think that brings a lot to the table. Same with Azino. This is a team that, despite the record, I think definitely could be bringing some fire to this matchup. And now, as we go over to the Danger Close roster, looking at them now, we get to see why this team's 2-0. Now, they do have a hefty roster, a noticeable difference from Frost Nova. You've got more Neutron, Xavier X, Hailton on your tank line. You've got Apollo, Ford F-150, Final Gambit, Bone on your DPS line. And then you've got Peridot, Akuji, sorry, I ruined that one. Paradroid and Saucer on the flex. You had your supports and then Saucer lastly on the flex. So you've got a versatile, well-rounded lineup here, and it seems to be working really well for them. As they're up, top of the scoreboard right now, top of the leaderboard, and looking like the team to beat so far this tournament.
Yeah, definitely. And I gotta quickly bring attention to the username Ford F-150 because that's just
Love it.
brilliant. It's a great username. Uh, Danger Close. So far, they played Peanut Butter Panthers, who have unfortunately had to drop, and Voltage, who are 0-2. So it could be argued they haven't really been tested. They haven't played someone like your Frost Novas or your Paradise Aegis or your Grav 9 yet. But 2-0, you've got to respect that no matter who they've played. They've proved they can beat teams, and they're going to be looking to prove it again. As our starting lineup on the side of Frost Nova is going to be Florida, Ricky Azina, Boone Knorr, who I don't believe was on that stat sheet we were given, and Sky, who was also not in that stat sheet. So it looks like they've picked up some players pretty recently, but it's probably good. I think a six-man roster is a bit rough going into tournaments. It can be a bit shaky. Sometimes you need a sub who just to counter someone. Sometimes someone can't make it. Real life happens. It's not a professional league. Unfortunately, we would love if it was, but
It's
it
very true.
sadly just isn't. Our first map, as per always this week, is going to be Ilios. Ilios, as I've said many, many times, a very different map between the 3 points. You've got the Hole of Doom, where every ranked player locks hog like there's no tomorrow. You've got Ruins, which is just a sniper paradise, and then you've got Lighthouse, which is a very weird point where you can see fars and you can see brawl, and you can see dive, and you can see all these things. But
Now
let's see
arriving
what our
at
first point we're
Phoenix.
loading into is, and it is going to be Ruins. So, like I said, great sniper map. Usually you
Initiating
see
match.
dive, zombie comp, or rush on this map. Double shield, not very common. Just this is a map with a lot of pillars. The lack of mobility of double shields really punishing. I just don't think a lot of teams in this league would like running double shield. You know what? I can respect that.
That's definitely reasonable. I mean, this point is going to allow itself for a lot of high sightline play from a Widowmaker potentially. You could see a lot of Pharah here. I think as far as like you said, tank lines go, you do have a lot of
Ready
variability
for
here. You
battle.
can go the dive route. It looks like starting out we are going to have the mirror matchup of six man. Seems to be kind of the
Hmm.
tried and true meta these days now, wouldn't you say, Zooey?
Definitely. I mean, we've seen some teams that like to run other things. We know there's some teams out there with a little bit of a preference for some of that spicy wrecking ball play. I'm looking at you, Glitch. But, it does seem like a lot of teams, both in and out of our tournament, are
Five,
favoring the zombie comp.
four,
But Interestingly, Boone Kennard going to be picking up that Tracer. Not traditional for Zombie Comp. Usually you do see that Reaper that uh, I've already lost the name. Danger Close has Ford F-150 on, so it'll be interesting to see how they make this Tracer pick work as opposed to that Reaper.
Yeah, that is a very noticeable distinction there as we are spectating Boomcore going into this. So far, no picks on the board, but Xavier X getting that very forward position here in the six-man comp. He does ultimately get hacked, and now really just to fight for his life. Ultimately, the rest of Danger Close able to keep him up there. And now the first pick, more Neutron taking down Florida, and now that will be a bit of a release valve for the side of Danger Close as they go ahead and begin to look for picks and take their presence on the point. Still, though, no side has actually picked up the point yet, so ultimately now we see more Neutron beginning that cap there, and now it will be Danger Close beginning in earnest.
One of the bigger reasons I could think you'd want to learn a Tracer is she builds her ult faster than Reaper, but looking at Boone Kennard and Ford F-150, they're basically the same pace as these ults. Luckily, though, for the side of Frost Nova, they only lost one. What was this? I've already mixed that up again. Either way, Pulse Bomb doesn't find anything, and they're going to lead in with this Cole now.
Now that is a big pick. Ford F-150 getting value on the Reaper, taking down Florida. Even so, Blazing Angels Coalescence come out, but this is Xavier and really just Xavier getting the picks there with the nice jump pack kill followed by the kill onto Baby Diva. Ford F-150 cleaning up the fight, and again, another prompt team fight won by Danger Close.
Yeah, and both these fights have essentially been won off an early pick onto that Winston, and that's kind of why you want the Reaper, and as we see Boone Kennard go over to it. You want that Reaper not just because it can shred the enemy tanks, but because Tracer's not really a threat to Reaper. She can't get close enough without being in danger of one shot, as, the EMP is big, but they doesn't get caught by it.
That's a 4-man EMP, but yeah, it doesn't get the sound barrier. Now, Hack does come out on Paradroid, so ultimately, I think that did hack out the sound barrier, but now Ford F-150 taking down Saki there, and this is really the only pick we have so far, but this is all just progress. Now, Ford F-150 getting another one. He's taking out the support line. Xavier taking down Azino. Xavier taking down Florida, and this has just been basically the Winston and Reaper show so far for Danger Close.
The talent here from Xavier and Florida F-150 has been just a bit overwhelming, but they've also kind of just looked a bit more coordinated. I'm starting to think Boone Kennard maybe not the most comfortable on the Reaper. That's why they roll out on the Tracer, hoping not to be forced to that mirror. But, they're doing their best to make it work, and they've got another fight here. Going to be a bit tough, but if Saki doesn't get caught by that CMP, you never know what could happen.
Absolutely, and that is a huge EMP coming out. It got 4 people, but the value was there because Ford F-150 was right there with the Death Blossom, along with a melee kill at the end on Blazing Angel. And again, the Reaper Winston show continues. Boom Power does get in on the mix, finally taking down Xavier, and that will be a nice possible chance here for this overtime take for that recontest coming out. You see Azino trying to work his way up to the EMP, ultimately Invis waiting it out, getting behind, getting the hack on, but now that is Akuchi taking down Saki and Paradroid taking down Florida, and now the hopes and dreams on this first point for Frost Nova are slowly dwindling as overtime dwindles as well. And that is a first point. That's the first point going over to Danger Close, and yeah, that was pretty convincing, Zooey.
Yeah, I don't think there's a huge talent difference between these teams. I really don't. I think these teams are pretty similar in talent. What I do think Danger Close has over Frost Surge right now.
Nova.
Frost Nova. Damn it! My brain
is all right.
Now.
It's all right. This is Rook's fault for bringing these two names to us. This is Rook's fault. Yeah. We're gonna blame Rook now.
No, it's my bad. I should have. I don't know. Either way, it's really what I think Frost Nova is getting punished by is the fact that not only did they only have 6 players coming into this season, not only did 2 of those 6 players coming into the season not play in the Invitational Tournament, so they were new for the season, but 2 of the players in that starting lineup aren't even part of that 6-man roster that started the season. So I think this team is just still trying to figure each other out. I definitely think they've got the talent, but they need to get accustomed to each other as a team. That's a hard thing to do in the middle of a season, but good start there for Azino. I think Lemon Pepper might be having some tech issues.
Oh,
I can't figure
excuse me, I'm muted. There we go. But now Ricky, he's back. I'm back. Azino's back, and now Frost Nova, they're back, and they're going to get their first bit of point progress here, looking strong on this ball comp.
Yeah, and I wonder if this is a comfort pick, so I'm just saying, okay, everyone just go a comfort pick, and sometimes that's the right thing to do, you know? Sometimes you're like, okay, this is the meta, we tried running the meta, it didn't work for us, everyone just pick what you're good at, pick what you're comfortable on, and sometimes that's just what you need to do to work, because sometimes usually those comfort picks are off meta, and the other team might not know how to handle them, so let's see how Danger Close re-engages here.
Absolutely, and Paradroid getting a big kill onto the Ana. That's a huge pick to start this off. Ord 150 taking down Florida, and now this is the Danger Cloaks we saw on the first point. They're getting control of the point, flipping it over. Soggy, a nice res onto the Ana though, but Azino falling, I'm assuming, into the pit there as Paradroid and Xavier continue the picks, cleaning up the rest of this fight. And now Danger Cloaks getting their first bit of progress.
Actually, Azina blew himself up because he didn't have the little cliff icon.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah. Fun fact some of you out there might not know, if you see the little man falling off a cliff icon, they went off the map. If you don't, it means the Sigma or the Far or whoever blew themselves up with splash damage. I am accustomed to that as a Sigma player myself. I've blown myself up a few more times than I'd like to admit. But you just see Xavier hiding here a little bit. I think they know he's there. It's just kind of protecting himself from poke and giving himself a good starting position. Probably going to look to engage with this barrage and could maybe even just wait out this coalescence if they really feel like it.
Yeah, and Azino's working into a really nice position for this barrage as Boomcore gets the pulse bomb kill onto Moira. Azino with the barrage gets 2 before being taken down by more Neutron. And these are a lot of picks coming out for Frost Nova as Florida able to get the D-Mech onto more Neutron with the minefield. Ricky getting a pick onto Xavier. Florida another mine kill, finishing the job on more Neutron. And that will be point progress going back over to the side of Frost Nova. Uh-oh!
He's got himself.
Speaking of been there on the SIG, I've been there on the ball too many times. A dangerous moment for Florida, but I absolutely right though. I think these are comfort picks and it's working well.
Yeah, I mean, if you fall in the pit there as Florida, when your team asks what happens, you just say lag and refuse to answer any.
It was lag.
Yeah,
that's all you need to know.
But, you know, Danger Close back here very quickly again, and Frost Nova, or Frost Surge hasn't even been, no, it was Frost Nova, has not even equalized that point percentage yet.
EMP only getting 2, but it got the Tracer and the Diva. Those are 2 big EMP picks if anything come with it. Xeno getting the Nano. He is able to take out Paradroid, having to dodge the self-destruct, does so deftly. Blazing Angel taking down Ford F-150, Azino taking down Akuji. Xavier does get the Primal Rage kill on a Blazing Angel, but it might be too little too late, at least for this fight, as Frost Nova cleans it up.
You know, as much as I talk about comfort picks and like how they can help as being off meta, and also, you know, you're just more comfortable in them, it's also, it can help with your communication. Sometimes you just know better what to say when you're playing a player you're comfortable with. Like, when I'm playing Diva or Sigma, I'm calming a lot more than when I'm playing Roadhog, which is a character I'm a lot less comfortable on. You know, I can certainly play Roadhog, and I'm certain Boonco can definitely play Reaper, but when you're playing that comfort hero, you're thinking about how to play.
Oh, look at this triple kill from Azino! He's taken down the core of the 6-man already there, and now this is again over. They can't even touch. Fantastic stuff from Frost Nova. They're right back in this now, 1-1 here on Ilios.
And I wanted to see them continue this because this is a comp you can continue onto Lighthouse. I understand why they chose not to run it on Ruins. It's not the best on Ruins, but you can absolutely run this into Lighthouse and be perfectly happy with it. But to continue what I was saying before, as you know, so rudely interrupted me with a triple kill. You know,
how dare he?
When you're when you're playing a character you're more comfortable on, you're thinking about how you're playing that character less, and so you can focus on calming more. And so Boomknor probably can play the Reaper. I trust him to play the Reaper. I'm sure his team trusts him to play the Reaper, but he has to think about what he's doing more. And so, you know, he's not saying the same things. He's not saying things that maybe he would say on the Tracer that would help his team. He's on the Tracer now, and now he's calming like a pro, and it just showed.
Absolutely. We do have a bit of a comp switch up here. The 6-man comp of Danger Close. Ford F-150 off the Reaper over to the Kree. Everything else remaining the same, though. This is an interesting variation so far. And now let's just see how this Pharah really can fare for Azino against this McCree. Because this is obviously who is trying to counter here. The McCree from the Reaper, that's obviously the switch you want to take out Pharah. And so far, Azino's value kind of getting minimized, but no picks coming far. And now, finally, picks Azino taking down Bone, more Neutron taking down Florida. Back and forth, these are even trades coming out for both sides. And ultimately, point progress, neither side so far. Boomcower getting a very important D-Mech onto more Neutron as Azino taking out Ford F-150, his counter. Xavier taking down Boomcore, Azino taking down 2 more. Azino is just absolutely cleaning up right now on the far end, and they've even switched to counter him.
Yeah, and it just didn't matter, you know. Ford F-150, I'm sure this guy's very, very good, but it just didn't seem to matter to Zeno as he just pops off with a casual 4K, as one does, as is an average Monday night, I suppose, you know? He's already got his barrage. He doesn't give a crap. I mean, Paradroid's not even 75% of the way to his sound barrier. There's no answer for this here. If more Neutron gets knocked out of his mech early, that's a good pick, by the
That
way,
is a
Will.
big
Good
pick by
call.
Xavier onto Boomkar. That's going to start off more Neutron, getting pressure onto Florida. F-150 finishing the job. Still no answer for the Fara, but that will take down the Mercy. Ford F-150 getting a nice little 2K there to start this off. And now progress on the point for Danger Close as they begin to gain some foothold. Still Fara standing strong. Just the ability to stay alive that long is impressive there, at least.
Yeah, and one thing, the combo from the side of Frost, oh my god, Frost Nova definitely excels at is this stall. You know, you've got a Wrecking Ball, you've got a Tracer, you've got a Diva. People can just sit on the point for like 5 years. That was a very late sound barrier from Paradroid. I mean, the Cyclone of Flutter was nice, but they definitely could have gotten it without the sound barrier. So maybe an ult they'll want back when this barrage comes through. We'll see.
Yeah, that you have to think that is a big benefit for Frost Nova as Zeno gets a nice concussion mine just boop off there. Now we have self-destruct coming out from more Neutron, able to get Saki. Wow, that is a huge pick, and now Azino left alone up there, and this is F-150's opportunity to possibly get a pick on that ever-elusive Fara. Xavier jumping in, Paradroid getting the boop kill onto Florida. That's a big environmental kill coming out from the Lucio, and now this is really looking to be a reset as point progress just now slipping into favor for Danger Close.
See, I mean, they haven't used any ults. I mean, they dropped a minefield, but you don't care about a minefield. You build that in 5 minutes. They've only got DPS ults on the side of Danger Close, so, you know, they can delay with the Deadeye, but catching more than 1 or 2 people with this EMP is going to be tricky, so you've got to make 900% sure that follow-up is perfect.
That's a Nano coming out onto a Xeno. He's got the barrage as well too, looking for an opportunity to use it. You have to imagine, he gets one, he's got the Ford F-150, he's got the Xavier, he's got the 2 big picks, and now this is going to be a flip coming out for Frost Nova.
Yeah, it's a good time for it too. You know, you can afford to lose a fight to the CMP when it comes out. I mean, you could also win that fight, but in case you lose it, you've got that safety net. You know that you get at least one more fight that isn't just like Florida having to hurl himself at the point. You can set up safely. So it's a nice time to retake it, knowing that you have that one free fight. And you'll definitely get yourself into one fight territory. So if they commit the EMP and win the fight, then you know they won't have another EMP probably until stall, which then it becomes questionably useful. Not to mention, Boomkator's got this pulse bomb, and he can find a big connection with this. Unless
The EMP gets 3, more Neutron eating the pulse bomb from Boomkauer. Xavier getting the Blazing Angel on and taken down out of the fight. That's a big source of healing. And now all healers out for Frost Nova as Danger Close strengthens their stranglehold on the point, and now they'll be flipping it back over. Stall coming out. Can Frost Nova get it to 90%? It looks like they will, but this will be getting dangerously close to one fight territory.
They could probably, if they cap again, which they definitely have the potential to. They've got both tank ults coming up, and we've seen how fast Zeno has built up that barrage. So they've definitely got a winnable situation here. If they win it in this fight, it's going to have to be maybe not like a crazy incredible stall for the side of Danger Close, but they will have to be in a stall fight. So let's see how they play this.
Ricky not really getting much, but Akuji is going to take down Florida, and that's the Wrecking Ball getting picked early in fight again. Ford F-150 taking down Boomkauer. Xavier taking down Blazing Angel. Ford F-150 with the Deadeye. Akuji with the Coalescence. That's everyone combining. A lot of ults coming out. The flashbang kill onto Ricky as well. Overtime dwindling down, and this is a first map take for Danger Close.
You saw those old percentages at the top right before we went to this Danger Close win screen. It cost them 6 ults to win that fight. So, you know, unfortunate for the side of, unfortunate for Frost Nova that they lost that fight, but you're pretty happy with that map. You know, you got smoked in the first round, and then you kind of won the second pretty solidly, and you made it very close in the third. You know, you're going to this against a 2-0 team, and you're looking at it like, we can beat these guys. This is a beatable match. Is too. I think based on what we were seeing at the top of our bar, we might be seeing some subs from Danger Close. Our next map will be that. I believe it's Escort, or is it Hybrid? I need to check. I should.
It
Or at
is
least
escort
escort.
actually, yes, and so we will be heading to an escort.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you're Frost Nova, despite losing that map, I think you have to actually be pretty pleased with your performance overall. I mean, you did. I mean, Bruin started out very rough on the side of Frost Nova. It was definitely a very clear case of not quite having the unity, the synergy together. And as you said, I mean, going over to the possibly those comfort picks. I don't know what the difference was. Uh, I have to imagine that basically, uh, comfort had a lot to do with it, but at the end of the day, I don't know what else it could be because it was just a night and day performance going over to Well. And you look at that and you look at how this team's kind of come together, and you have to think that this is a team that can really hold their own. We have had some intel from production. We believe that Booncore is actually earlier Vincent, so this is actually a rostered player, a bit of synergy there.
Ah.
So going over to these comfort picks, though, it does seem to be benefiting. The Ball Diva comp looked very strong on the side of Frost Nova. It was definitely something. I mean, you notice. I mean, the 6-man comp had to be adjusted. Ford F-150 had to go over to the McCree. That was changes that had to be made. So obviously something was working on the side of Frost Nova. And I mean, going, if you're no stranger to Hyperion's tournaments these past couple iterations, a Xeno on the Pharah can just mess things up. I mean, it's always a force to be reckoned with, always a presence. That's something we're going to be looking forward to as we head into our next escort map, and that will be Dorado. This, of course, is
Mm.
loser's choice, so this is Frost Nova's choice. You have to think possibly a Pharah, possibly a Xeno on more of these projectile players to possibly get that value. What do you think we're going to see here on this Dorado map, Zooey?
I mean, it's definitely a map Frost Nova can run that Balfara thing. Actually,
Oh,
never mind. Someone called that wrong. We're going to Havana instead.
someone
Havana's
called that wrong. Who could that
so
be?
someone, someone, yeah, definitely. Yeah, but Havana first point's a very open point, and so is third. It's second point where it gets very weird and internal, and it's a very strange difference in point structure. On first and third point, Frost Nova can run that far, run that ball, no worries, no sweat, just wanna. It'll be interesting to see what they try to choose to do on that point B. Do they try and just snowball through? You can definitely keep the ball, but what do you do about that far? Do you kind of swap it and go for an Echo? Do you go for the hard swap and go to, Cole Cassidy or an Ash, or maybe you even get crazy and out there and go for a Symmetra? As it does seem like the side of Danger Close will be defending first. So I don't like defending first. Teams seem to like defending first. I don't have a great reason for why that is, but defending first lets you measure out your opponent. It puts the burden of proof on them, as for some reason their teams are named Danger Close and Danger Far in game right now. So someone's having a bit of fun. Um, as that's no fix. But you know, like I said, when you're defending, you can force that burden of proof, if you will, onto your opponent. You can say, "Beat us." We don't have to beat you. You have to beat us. But when you attack first, you get to set that pace. You get to say, okay, this is gonna be fast. It's gonna be hard. Beat our time bank. Or you can say, okay, it's gonna be slow. It's gonna be methodical, and we're just gonna set ourselves up to just fight, 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 fight on our defense. Take as many fights as we can. Who cares if we win them? And just make it take as long as possible. I like attacking first better. Teams like defending first better. There's arguments to both, but um, you know, Ninja goes to show him defend first, and I don't blame him for it. But we'll see what happens. As I don't think we're gonna be getting any subs. Actually, it looks like no, no subs.
Yeah, we
Oh
do.
no,
We
wait.
actually do have a sub. Saucer coming in for Bone on the side of Danger Close. Bone notably was the Sombra player in that 6-man comp. I have to imagine Xavier?
Yeah.
Yeah, Xavier was actually in already. But Saucer, the somber player, you have to imagine possibly straying away from 6-man here on Havana. This is, of course, talking about the map we're going to, Havana. This is a great spot. We've seen it time and time again, the full hold. Speaking of defending first, that is something to pay attention to, is that full holds, especially these teams like Danger Close and Frost Nova, who both teams that have familiar faces from the previous Hyperion Invitational. We saw several times throughout that tournament full holds, my team included. We all got in on it. Every team I think got in on at least an attempt at the full hold here defensively on Havana. So that's something. One of these teams will try it. I have you just have to assume so. And
Yeah.
so that means a lot of May, a lot of McCree, a lot of Reinhardt, comps that I love to see getting into that brawly stuff. You get the Lucio in there. That's honestly my favorite. Some of my favorite Overwatch. I guess it kind of alludes back to the good old days of goats. But when you think about that, that makes this Havana hold really fun. I think that's what makes it so alluring to a lot of teams to go for that full hold. Is that it just feels so oppressive. It feels good and it's insanely doable here. So that's just one of those things I think we'll see. But if either team can break through that, it gets into some little bit more interesting. Notably, it is very typical and difficult to close to not be able to close out here on Havana and not be able to get those full 3 points. What do you think teams can do to maybe open that up as we head into the map, Zooey?
It's not a lot you can do once you get into that fort other than just keep beating your head into a brick wall and hope someone just pulls out a clutch moment. It's probably the hardest. It is probably the hardest point in Overwatch to cap that point. See Havana is. I mean, there's one flank route, but it sucks. You can maybe send a tracer or a ball through it, but that's about it. So kind of just gotta slam your head into a wall and hope someone comes up with an opening. And more often than not, they don't. But usually if you can get it inside that fort, you're pretty happy. So
Yes,
now
that's very true.
there's
If you can break it through that drawbridge through the bridge, usually that can be enough to get the job done. As we've noticed, it is important to note we do have Thorium EA or Thorium EA coming in on the side of Frost Nova, playing the Mei now. We have right now what looks like to be a Rhine Diva composition with the Mei Hanzo. With these changes to Hanzo, a lot of times, a lot of teams have been running the Cassidy here, just kind of your all-purpose DPS hit scan dealer. With these Hanzo changes, though, it should be interesting to see how we can work him into this more brawly comp. Meanwhile, Ford F-150 wants a little revenge, it looks like, over there on that far. What do you make of this, Zooey?
Far is not a usual pick when you go for the spot hold. You would usually have a May here instead, but it certainly can work as they were expecting to come out that door and Frost just didn't, which was very smart from them. If you even suspect the other team's going to go for this close hold, you don't come out that door. You come out the door they did.
And the Pharah paying dividends instantly. Ford F-150 taking down a Xeno there, taking out the Immortality Field, and that's going to let Xavier go to work on this Reinhardt. Ultimately, though, bit of a caster curse as Saucer taking down Blazing Angel. This is a very unorthodox sort of hold comp coming out from Danger Close, but it's getting immense value to start.
Usually you don't see this far, you see May. Usually you have a Diva instead of the Sigma, and obviously usually you have a Lucio instead of the Mercy, but you're going to fire, you commit to it, you're on the Mercy. But
you got to roll with it.
You got to roll with it. Neither of these teams really conventional. Hanzo, not the most conventional DPS right now. Usually, like you said, you do see that Cassidy, but both these teams favoring this Hanzo for this point. And if it works, it works.
And it seems to be working. Saucer getting the Storm Arrow kill onto Blazing Angel. Xavier getting the charge onto his counterpart. And Saucer going in for another one. More Neutron cleaning up the counterpart Hanzo on the other side. And Xavier, the nice Fire Strike kill onto Saki. And again, the full hold going nicely so far for Danger Close.
I expect them to win at least one more fight. They'll have 6 ults for this fight. You would expect them to win this fight. Ford F-150 getting cheeky, being on the roof. Ready to just drop in. Let's see if Ricky sees him. He should now. He's actually
looks for a better opportunity there, and rightfully so. They look to be sniffing that one out pretty well. And now, Xeno switching over to the Soldier 76, dodging the Dragon Strike coming out from Honda. Shatter coming out though, gets a couple there, and these are just a lot of picks and a lot of ults coming out for Danger Close.
I think Danger Close suspects this is their last fight here. This is the last fight they win. They hold on to that barrage. You can win fights with barrage, definitely. We saw Xeno do it before. But the side of Frost Surge is going to have a bunch of... Throw me onto the Symmetra. I'm not certain what you're looking to get out of that here. There's 2 shields. Symmetra's great shield break, but
It is, and that has to be the thought process. Florida, though, getting a Fire Strike kill onto Saucer, that's a big pick. But Ford F-150 getting the Barrage kill onto Blazing Angel. Xavier getting a pick onto Saki, but Azino and Thorium EA are both getting a couple picks there to get this started. And the Symmetra, risky at first, but ultimately providing enough shield break, and it's going to be just enough to get Frost Nova to break open this full hold and get the point rolling.
Far from a conventional DPS line out from Frost Nova right now. The legs and the sim, not something we're used to seeing, but if it's gonna work, it's gonna work. And oh, Resident Sleeper, double shield, I'm so sad. Oh well, I mean, double shield's good. I just hate playing against it because it's so slow. I mean, but it's good because it's slow. And Rush is generally one of the better comps into double shield because you press W and then you've got a big man with a hammer swinging in your face, and that's exactly what double shield doesn't like. But double shield's got its own answers, like this.
This window, oh my goodness, this window absolutely deleting Ricky, and more Neutron getting a nice bit of work started off taking out that Immortality field. The rival window not quite getting enough value to start, and now ult City, more Neutron farming that ult. These are big picks coming out from the Sigma, and the rest of Danger Close cleaning up the fight.
Vicious Ant Matrix, and I'm not certain they needed that flex. There were 4 players, at least 3 of them were 1 HP. The only healer was a Lucio.
Bit of a flex.
You've only got a Dragon Strike for this fight.
Bit of a flex. We'll give that. We'll give that bit of a flex.
Asserting dominance.
And now Ricky with the self-destruct coming out. It's big over the top, only getting Saucer. The Dragon Strike from Saucer, though, a little quid pro quo coming out as Xavier on the Orisa. The picks rolling in, the double shield getting value. They're in there brawling it out all the same. It doesn't matter. They're getting the picks. Ford F-150 locking the legs. Tag Visor coming out. Doesn't need to kill anything. The picks are there. Overtime dwindling down and Danger Close with pretty darn close to a full hold, if we're being honest.
That was Ford F-150 and Saucer saying, okay, our turn. And that was some really, really great DPS play from the side of Danger Close. I mean, it was dominant DPS play. Sometimes when the opposing DPS are just going crazy, you can just say shrug and go GG, go next. If they lose this map, it's not series over. They would have to go for reverse sweep, but we've seen it done. We've seen 5-map series. We've seen reverse sweeps. We're not strangers to it here in Hyperion Cup. So they have to go for the full hold. You can't hold the corner. As much as you might like to, you can't hold the corner. You only get one fight. You're going to lose one fight 99% of the time. They've got to go for the close hold.
Of course.
Interesting close hold comp, but comfort picks. I don't mind it as a close hold comp. Ball is fine in the close hold. Got the Sigma. Keep the Ana safe. Far is great in the close hold. Sombra, she's always pretty solid, as we see. Paradroid, really pick onto that Brig, and Ford F-150, memeing or just looking to flex? It's hard to know this early.
It is hard to tell. Definitely seeing a looks like double shield coming out on the attack. That will be interesting to see, but this is going to require a lot of coordination between the Sombra and the Pharah on the side of Frost Nova to really make this work, but it's absolutely doable. This type of chaotic comp can be very oppressive here on the full hold as we start out. Azino with an excellent position to start this off, going to be able to go ahead and get some early poke. That pharmacy is going to be very difficult to deal with here with this double shield comp, I'd say.
Not if they swap to Echo. Echo, one of the notorious
Florida does get a slam kill, but Saucer taking down a Xeno, Thorium EA taking down a Kuji. Saucer trades back and forth, and in this scenario, trades do not benefit the defense, as this just slowly becomes a war of attrition over to the side of Danger Close.
Ford F-150 on the Bastion now.
Oh, wow. Why not?
Live
your life.
No, put that down. Put that down, sir. None of that. But not as much time as you would have liked to burn. You now have to hold without this corner, hold around that. I don't even know what that is, like advertisement booth for 3 minutes.
That is the downside with this full hold there, is by drawing it out the way they did, now you've lost the corner as well. But that is a huge sleep onto more Neutron coming out from Blazing Angel. And that's just exactly what Azino needed to get away. And Ford F-150 is going to take down Florida. Azino taking down the Immortality field, but this is going to be, no, Azino, no room to work. EMP coming down, but it was too little too late as Ford F-150 had already taken down Azino. Saucer taking down Saucy, more Neutron taking down Thorium, and the picks rolling in for Danger Close, and they roll through to a convincing 2-0 lead here.
And the Bastion was actually a genius pick because usually the reason, unless you're gold or bronze or silver, in which case you don't do it because you know the other team will do it to you, the reason
Very
you
true.
don't pick Bastion normally with higher level play is because you're going to lose a fight eventually, and when you lose that fight, you have to get off the Bastion. Bastion is riding the struggle bus after he loses a fight if you try and keep running him. Often I even recommend switching even if you've got your ult. Because
Mm. Oh
Bastion needs to
yes.
be set up. He has to be set up, which is
Nice
why
and
you either
easy.
sit him on the card
Just how
or
I
you
like
sit
it.
him on the high ground around point, and you just kind of let him have position. But the reason you want it there is you need to win one fight. You've got an ult advantage, you've got a positional advantage, you've got a respawn advantage. You've got every advantage in the books. So just run the Bastion. The Bastion's great against Pharah because Pharah hates hiding and you have to hide from the Bastion. Um, and Wrecking Ball, it doesn't really have great ways to take him down. Sigma's okay against him, but not the best. The Sombra is good against him, but it doesn't really have anyone to help her out with it. Um, but fortunate for the side of Frost Nova, now down 0-2. We will be having a quick break before we get into our map 3, though.
Welcome back. We are here in a 2-0 scoreline between Danger Close and Frost Nova. Danger Close up 2-0 over Frost Nova. What have we seen so far, Zoe? Give us a run through.
I mean, we've seen both sides DPS have incredible moments. We've seen a full hold. Um, we've seen very late ults. I think we had maybe not a 6K, but a 4K, so I'll count that as like a hard carry fight. So I think all we're missing is the C9, and we've got bingo.
That's true. That's true. We've almost got the Overwatch bingo. That's we just got to complete that mighty trifecta, if you will.
I agree.
And despite the 2-0 scoreline, it has been at times very close. Yeah, a bit of an outlier, I think, on Havana. That full hold on defense, I really think that just kind of broke things sort of wide open. But before that, we saw a pretty even battle there on Ilios. We saw some really great DPS performances from a Xeno on the Faro. What can Frost Nova do, would you say, to really kind of just capitalize on that and maybe get a map win and start this reverse sweep off here on Kings Row as we head to our third map?
Like you said, apparently they think it's taking us to Kings Row. I don't know if they're wrong. I probably would have predicted them to take us to Blizzard World, but can't miss out on that Scrims Row. Got to play Scrims Row. So we will be
And
having
true.
some subs in just a moment, waiting to see who exactly they are. But Kings Row is a rush paradise. So I'm wondering if Frost Nova just hasn't felt like Rush is good. And I'm wondering if they're thinking just, Rush is not meta enough to play outside of Kings Row. And now they're saying, okay, we think we can win a Rush mirror. Let's go to Kings Row. It'll be interesting to see. I think a lot of why they take us here will be decided on what they run once we get there. So we do have Saucer coming in for the side or for who was in there for wait, was Saucer in last map?
Saucer
Um
was in last map.
Saucer was in last map, yes. Halician is coming in for Xavier, and we've got Paradote coming in for Paradroid. No way I'll screw that up, I
No
promise.
way.
That's
No
never
way.
happened.
What could go wrong? Nothing. Nothing could go wrong. Yeah,
Wait,
with these
which
switches
does
coming in, you have to think that this is possibly an adjustment for Brawl coming out from Danger Close. Uh, you know, we've talked about it a lot tonight with Frost Nova, with possibly working with Saki, a ringer in the lineup, and possibly having a bit of a lesser synergy than you would in other more ideal scenarios. Going to a map like Kings Row where every scrim you've gotten a run on Kings Row. You just know that it's a legitimate thing. So going with that, it's like, go to Kings Row, get this turned around, rely on some synergy. Having played against Florida in the past, I know Florida has a solid Reinhardt. I know that this Brawl comp is something that Florida's comfortable playing in. A lot of the pressure in Brawl obviously relies on the shields on your main tank, your Reinhardt player. Florida's certainly up to the task there, and I think this is possibly a good idea to put the match more into the Reinhardt's hands as far as been playing a lot of Winston, playing a lot of ball. There's a lot of good communications, a lot of good engagements there, but you can really damage control a fight from Reinhardt. So this will be interesting to see because I mean it's almost a foregone conclusion. I mean we are going to see Ryan v Ryan here on Kings Row, right? I mean there's no other option, right?
there are other options, but anyone who chooses to run them is a heathen and a heretic. So hopefully we'll be seeing a
Haha,
Ryan
the
v
only
Ryan
valid answer. Well said.
mirror. Yeah, and it is looking like it's going to be Ryan v Ryan, at least definitely for the side of Danger Closes. Um, Presumably Hale is in here to play the Reinhardt, maybe just more comfortable on it, more practice on it than Xavier is. Ricky, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, Ricky. Please.
Ricky. Ricky. Yes.
You
The
better just be peeking there, Ricky. You better
the
just be peeking.
unorthodox. But you
It's
could
all right.
peek on
It's all right.
Diva.
It's all
You
right.
could
It's all
you
right.
could peek on Diva though.
No, but
But
I'm
yes,
making the call now. He wants to go to Zarya. That's my hard read.
I
He's
li-
one
I
person
like
because he
this.
wants.
This is interesting to point out for Frost Nova. You've got
Oh,
a Xeno. Oh, I thought we'd see it far, but you've got a Xeno over on the May. playing that projectile role. We haven't seen a Xeno yet on the May tonight, I don't believe. A Ford F-150 reprising that Kree role we've seen from, or that Cassidy role, forgive me. I will get it right, I promise. Corrected myself that time. But no, giving up free progress already is danger close as they let Frost Nova make their way over to the point. Walls coming out from both Mays. Immortality Field is out. Boon Cord getting the first pick onto Halaton. And ultimately now that's it. Without the Reinhardt, that's a huge pick. But still no progress yet, no ticks. As Florida taking down Saucer. Florida getting to go to work without that Ryan counter there in his face. And now progress beginning to swing in the favor of Frost Nova.
Yeah, and Xeno just got a better wall than Saucer. Like, there's nothing else to it. Like, we saw that Saucer's wall didn't actually end up isolating Boone. He was put on top of it, and so just able to hop over. And the only other person on the other side was Blazing Angel, and he can just I don't actually know what that ability is called off the top of my head over it. Meanwhile, on the side of Xeno, he got Hill and Akuji isolated all by his own.
And Hale getting a nice kill onto Florida. Yeah, Florida, a bit of an overextension there, and this is going to give Danger Close the ability to get back and stabilize control. Ford F-150 taking down Saki. A good May wall from Xeno to help Frost Nova to get out and reset, as now Florida coming online with that Earth Shatter.
Watch how these divas play around these Mays, because if one of these divas eats one of these blizzards, it suddenly changes the whole paradigm of the fight. Right now it's pretty even. Both sides looking at both tank ults. This window is a difference, but that's a very good wall to deny use of it.
Shatter comes out, it gets nothing. You've now got Freeze coming out from Saucer. It shuts down the Deadeye. Saucer taking down Boon Core. The Cassidy falling. And now this is still that with that pick, that's a lot of your DPS, and now Akuji Saucer cleaning up Saki in Florida. The picks coming through. Ryan swinging the mighty hammer, and again a strong hold coming out from Danger Close.
Would have liked to see Saki hold that beat. You know, Danger Close had already committed the High Noon, the Blizzard, the Sound Barrier, and the Amplification Matrix, and then they were then also going to commit the Shatter. But if Saki holds that Sound Barrier, they're only expending the Deadeye and the Shatter. They're massively favored in the ult game all of a sudden. They end up committing it. I understand why, but I would have liked to see them hold that.
Sun City coming out on Florida as self-destruct from Nordrum comes out. Mortruntron able to take down Saki. Gets the remake kill onto a Xeno, but Boomcore and Blazing Angel combining to get a nice little 3k. Boomcore another, but Ford F-150 shutting it down. The Cassidy on Cassidy violence ultimately coming up in the side of Ford F-150, but these were a lot of picks coming out for Frost Nova, and now they're getting some progress.
And they're going to catch more neutron with that fire strike again. Blazing Angel ended up dropping a late Amp Matrix. I actually don't mind that one, because Florida was getting very low with both a Cassidy and Medivh shooting at him. Gotta make sure he stays alive. If he dies, you're suddenly like, oh, what do we do here? And also,
it causes problems, you're right.
It forces them to back up. It means they very early.
That's a quick bomb coming out. Immortality Field there to answer as well. Properly handled on the side of Danger Close. Now Amplification Matrix coming out on the side of Akuji. Deadeye from the high ground. Ford F-150 getting a nice angle there. Amplification Matrix coming out. Deadeye now on the side of Xeno. Dueling Cassidy's. Mirroring each other. Freeze coming out from Saucer. Freeze takes down Ricky. Hailson takes down Florida. And the picks coming out for Danger Close, and now they've managed to hold this again.
Very good patience there from Saucer. He waited until Ricky had expended his defense matrix defending Bunkanor with the High Noon, and then just dropped the Blizzard. There's no defense against it. Saki doesn't have their Sound Barrier left. Immortality Field got committed earlier in the fight, and they just cleaned up off the back of it. Only the Scatter coming into this fight. 2 ults that could potentially be built into, but we might only see 2-3 ults coming into this fight. There's going to be a lot down to individual talent, individual picks, maybe some slick little ability combos. So very open fight.
Say May walls will play a factor, but now the Shatter kill coming out. Florida going down. Ryan charging, taking down Cassie. Boomcore going down. Immortality Field falling down, and that's really all you need if you're Danger Close. This is now Frost Nova trying their best to get out. Any stagger would be huge, and that's exactly what Ford F-150 gets.
They spend 2 ults. Actually, no, they spend 1 ult, and they build for Frost Nova spends 1 ult and has 2. It's not unwinnable. They have the Blizzard. Danger Close does not have the Blizzard. That's a very important ult in these fights, but you have the Sound Barrier to answer it. It can always be early self-destruct. They want to take this fight
Very early
early.
bombs from all sides. We've noticed that, what,
Yeah.
3 times now? 2 on the side of Danger Close, but now a sneaky Deadeye. Got 3! Helton's gonna get the charge kill, but the triple kill from Ford F-150. The flank no one saw coming. And Danger Close again with minimal ults ready. They've got the team kill, and now time almost under a minute left there, Zooey.
Yeah, and Ford F-150 with those bold plays. Ricky thought he was thought Ford F-150 was in the middle of the rest of the team. He very wasn't, and that's just kind of unfortunate. But they've got one more fight. They've got the ults to win it. It's just a matter of execution. And Frostnova has shown us they have that potential to execute as they're trying to escape our observer here. I don't know what they're afraid of. He's a very nice man.
A very nice off-angle rotation from Frostnova, but Saucer there with the freeze. Perfectly timed. Saucer's going to take down Boomcore and now go to work on the Reinhardt of Florida. Saucer taking down, or Ford F-150 taking down a Xeno. No DPS on the side of Frostnova, and now 30 seconds. They need to get out, and they need to reset, and they need to do it fast.
Saki cannot get staggered here. If they get staggered here, there's no chance of another fight. They're actually just... No, just run there. If you just run, you can get a 6v6 fight in time. Now you're forcing your team to go 5v6. I don't understand the plan there.
I think plan was very minimal. I think it was a lot of panic there, understandably so. The freeze and the Maywall, not the self-destruct and the Maywall, not quite combined together. But Saki, revenge, getting the kill onto Helton. Ricky's gonna get self-destruct, gets the DMAC. Peridot does take down the immortality field, but Florida's gonna take down Ricky, getting the picks. Ricky and the rest of Frostnova, they've managed to pull this off. That was kind of inexplicable. I'm a little bit stunned now, to be honest.
Yeah, that was unexpected, but a great clutch there from Frostnova. Expensive in terms of ults, but there's no big ones on the side of Danger Close.
Can we just talk about Saki being the last one killed and then the first one to get a kill? Can we just, like, that kind of needs to be acknowledged. Like, we were very quick to throw Saki under there, and Saki getting the kill to start that off. But now they need to be careful. Ford F-150 on the flank again. Immortality field out. High noon out. A good lamp from Blazing Angel. Will it be enough though? I don't think it will be to save Florida. Now Helton and Saucer combining for a nice kill. Ricky does get the thruster kill onto Peridot. Helton though still going to work with that Reinhammer. More neutron taking down the Xeno. The picks coming through, and Frostnova able to get a little bit more progress, but ultimately Danger Close still holding strong before this second checkpoint.
Apparently, I am just a curse on teams to get held here. It has happened in at least 3 out of the 4 matches I have cast for this tournament. The team has gotten held at that exact point. I mean, that was kind of just... You got ult gapped. You had to spend most of your ults to win that first fight. No shame in spending any of them, though. You needed them all. And you just couldn't quite clutch up hard enough. It was just unfortunate. But I think Frostnova has shown us enough for me to call this a definitely winnable map from them. You know, Florida's had some big moments. Saki had that big makeup for that mistake in getting staggered by getting that first kill, you know. Ricky's had some big moments. We've seen what Xeno's capable of. Boone Knorr, a bit quiet, very understated player, has had a big impact though. And the fact we haven't had to say anything about Blazing Angel just speaks to how good he's been playing. So, a team with a lot of talent here on Frostnova. They've gone toe-to-toe with Danger Close here, and even if they end up losing this map, they can hold their heads high.
Well, yes, it's definitely considering the difference in record, considering the difference on the leaderboard. This is a strong performance from Frostnova. At the end of the day, though, you still need to walk away from this map with a win. You still need a win here on Kings Row, and that's going to be tough with the way this Danger Close team is playing. They lose fights at times, yes, it's true, but when they come together, they get the holds they need, they get the stops that they need, and now all they need is a couple more key fight wins, and they'll have a 3-0 victory walking out of week 3.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you have to win 4 fights on point A, maybe 5. That's something I've seen done, I've had done, and it's a great start, just evaporating the Neutron's mech there, and you can't push without a D.Va. In fact, you're gonna get pushed on without a D.Va.
Now the counter charge coming out. Saki's going to take down Helton. No Rhines on the field either. That's going to benefit attackers as they do have a bit of a spawn advantage here. We'll have to see if that will be a benefit for Danger Close or if they'll just play this out and play it slow.
They are going to quickly go recover Hamilton. It's going to be interesting to see if Saki decides to run the big risk and run back for Florida. Looks like a good stalling wall there gets Florida back in time, so that's very important.
That's a great lamp, mitigating that Maywall coming out from Saucer there as both Immortality Fields down on the play. Ford F-150 and Saucer DPS line paying off for Danger Close as they've got a nice couple of kills. Peridot and more Neutron getting in on the mix as well, and now these are some strong picks coming out for Danger Close, and this just got a whole lot tougher for Frost Nova.
Dude, it's I don't know how much time you actually get the time back off my top of my head. I believe it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So they have about 5 minutes, and it is
Absolutely
to
right.
hold this entire point B eminently doable, especially when you've got the tools to win this first fight and take control of this
Where
best
is this
position all
Deadeye?
over.
That's a nice
Right.
speed Deadeye coming out from Booncore. Doesn't really get anything from it, but the Maywall doing a good separation. Flashbang got a
Oh,
couple.
what
Freeze
a
coming out.
mentality.
Florida Fire Strike onto the Diva, taking that down. No Diva on the play for Danger Close now. Frost Nova getting a nice hold here, and this is exactly what you need if you're the defenders right now.
Absolutely, that was 1 ult for 1 ult, but you spent the cheap roll. Not to mention, Blazing Angel there with a picture-perfect Immortality Field. Boom Knorr was dead to rights at the hands of Saucer. Immortality Field, the bailout button comes out, saves his life. Now he's still here, and you can take this fight. And man, what a great play there from Blazing Angel.
Yeah, Frost Nova doing what they need to there, but this is still Danger Close. That's a big shatter coming out from Florida. Ginormous, in fact, but Florida 150 answers with a double kill Deadeye, taking down Florida as well afterwards. Immortality Field going down. Hamilton getting a kill onto Xeno, and Danger Close breaking this one wide open on the back of Florida F-150.
It's an unintentionally brilliant play from the side of Ford F-150. Now, obviously, he was always going to go up there and Deadeye, but the timing with it meant that it was a bit awkward for the side of Frost Nova trying to follow up on that shatter. They end up losing two, and Danger Close gonna take position to make Frost Nova take an offensive fight that they don't want to take. They do nothing else to win it. They just need to convert this ult advantage.
Oh, this is a huge bomb. It's going to take down Boomtower. More Neutron's been doing these early bombs all night to mixed result, but it gets one there. And now more Neutron. Helton getting a couple kills, but now Ricky, Frost Nova, they're getting the picks here. They're bringing themselves back into this fight. Amplification Matrix coming out from the side of Blazing Angel, and now a beautiful double kill coming out on that self-destruct from Ricky.
I mean, that was a great fight. You know, they had to expend a lot of ults, but you had to stop them here. I definitely trust in Ricky with how we've seen them play so far to at least have a chance to take away this Blizzard from Saucer. And outside this Blizzard, there's Znap Matrix, which is Zenult. It's fine, it's decent, but you know, if Frost Nova wins this fight, suddenly they're in a very favorable spot where they should have ult advantage throughout the rest of this map.
It will be. This is going to be a tough fight to win, though, to be sure. Ford F-150 making it even tougher, taking out the Reinhardt very early. Saucer trying to fight Boomtower. That's a huge Earthshatter coming out from Hamilton. More Neutron taking out Boomtower. These are all the picks coming in for Danger Close, and this is exactly what they needed. Can F-150 take down Blazing Angel? Blazing Angel playing their life very well, but ultimately More Neutron getting the melee kill, and I think this is done and dusted. Danger Close winning in a compelling 3-0 victory.
And it's what you would expect from a number one ranked team, but Frost are giving a very good account of themselves considering they're tied for last place team going up against the first place team. You know, they had solid moments. Ilios was incredibly close. They had a good, strong chance throughout this entirety of King's Row. Havana maybe got away from them a little bit. Unfortunate, but what are you going to do? A great account of themselves, and you know what? Once you give them a couple more weeks to get this team acquainted with each other, I don't think Frost Nova ends the season at the bottom of our table. But we now have to discuss who our MVP is, and I'm looking at that DPS line and specifically that Cassidy play from Ford F-150. Maybe a little bit of recency bias with how well he played on King's Row, but man, I feel like Ford F-150 is my pick for MVP. What about you, Lemon?
Well, I would have to agree with that too. I mean, you look at the fact that recency bias is very much a thing. However, you have to also, in my opinion, take into consideration the fact that Ford F-150 a lot of times earlier in the match was playing the Cassidy pick, and a lot of times to counter a Xenos Pharah, which to be honest was absolutely cleaning up. So it was a very necessary switch. And then you go over to Kings Row, you get to see Ford F-150 get to be Cassidy for the sake of being Cassidy instead of for the
Yeah.
sake of being a Pharah counter, and you see the value that then Ford's able to contribute. So I think player of the match, built Ford tough, Ford F-150. I think that makes sense.
Oh, You made the reference. You managed to get it out there. I
I
did not
got it
reveal
in.
it to you.
I
But
got it in, definitely.
I believe we will be taking a quick break as we discuss who we want to interview. And then in a few minutes, we will be back. Make sure you stick around for that interview. We're going to get some insight from one of these players on the side of Danger Close.
Welcome back. I'm your caster lemon caster. I'm your caster lemon caster. There we go. You guys know me. I'm Lemon Pepper. I'm joined here with Zooey, and we've got Ford F-150 here in the booth. We've had a rousing vehicle conversation here during the break, and now we're ready to talk some Overwatch.
Have you here for it?
Here. What's going on?
So I've seen some people in chat say that Ford in your name stands for flanks on repeat. Duh. What do you think of that?
I that's a fair statement, honestly. I tend to get a little creative.
And we saw some of that, but it worked out. So, do you get flamed a lot in ranked for your flanks? I feel like you must get flamed a lot for your flanks in ranked.
Uh, it kind of depends.
Mm.
I a lot of the time I can manage to get value, but every once in a while I can usually just kind of play it off as like a tactical feed and make some up about pulling someone out of position, and I can get away with it.
So we saw you mostly play the Cassidy in this series. Is that your favorite here to play, or are you gonna come out here and tell me you're a disgusting Symmetra main or something?
I'm actually a Genji OTP by day. I play a
Ah,
lot of Kree and Cassidy and stuff because I mean, it works really well in the meta, and I'd like to think
yeah.
that my aim's not terrible, but
It looked
definitely
good today.
prefer the Genji.
I mean, we still. I think I've only seen Genji come out once in this tournament. Sadly, did not work out. Do you think there's a chance at some point in this series you can convince more Neutron and Paradox to let you pull out that Genji, even if it's just for a map?
I I can definitely convince Morn, and I can definitely make it work. It's just whether or not I have the mental capacity to pull it off.
All right, all right. Well, you've got a great off-tank player there in Morn. How does it feel to be playing with such a great diva player? Always there with those defense matrices at the right time.
It's really helpful. Big shout out to Morny's nuts on the diva. I can pretty reliably not get antied and fire striked, which is pretty cool. Not
Very
turning
different
a
from me.
corner into a windowed fire strike for free. But yeah, all jokes aside, he's pretty solid on the diva, so really nice to see that.
That's great to hear. Do you have anyone you want to give a shout out to? Any of your teammates and your own socials, friends, family, whoever you want, really?
Everybody on Danger Close, that community is going crazy. They're doing some great stuff over there. I stream
Awesome.
every once in a while, every once in a blue moon on Twitch at Spire_OW. So if you want to keep an
Ah,
eye on that, it's pretty inconsistent, but you can probably catch me doing a bunch of shenanigans.
great. Love to hear it. Lemon Pepper, you got anything you want to give a shout out to?
Nope, nope. I'm good on shouts. Well, I guess always shout out to my team, Tempest Typhoon. Always a shout out to Oakley, Hyperion. Thank y'all for putting on such a great tournament. Uh, I just have to say too, Ford F-150 talking that tactical feeding. I was thinking in my head, I was like, this sounds like a Genji player, and then you're like Genji OTP. I was like, I knew it, I knew it. But always great to peer into the mind of some great DPS play. Great performance tonight from Ford F-150 and the rest of the Danger Close gang as they close out a 3-0 series, taking down Frost Nova. It's been a great match to cast. I've been
Still
your
haven't lost a
play-by-play
match.
Lemon Pepper. That's true. Yeah, we need to mention that. Danger Close, not losing a map yet. They're still undefeated. A
Yeah.
little bit of a target on your back, I'm sure, but you guys are up to the challenge. You've proven it thus far. It's been a great series. We're looking forward to a lot more. Join us
Yeah.
here in about 45 minutes. We will be going up with our next match of the series. I've been your
You and Lord
host,
Ethan.
Lemon Pepper, and I've been. What?
You and Lord Ethan nice match. As for me,
It
you can
is.
find me on Twitter at Cast Zooey, Zooey Casts. If you want to find our wonderful producer Oakley, he is Oakley FX everywhere. I mean, maybe don't even close Twitch. Maybe just hang out. You got Lemon Pepper and Thethan, two great casters up next. Who are you guys casting?
We're actually casting Voltage versus Phoenix, and that will be
That's
coming up
coming.
here at 10 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a good one. Yeah, I need to remember these whole social media drops. I should get on social media so that I can remember that. I don't even. I mean, I have Twitch, Lemon Pepper OW at Twitch. I stream sometimes and do bias casts. But yes, it's been a pleasure. It's been fun. As you can see, we like to have fun here. Y'all have a great evening, and we'll see y'all shortly.
Have a good night, everyone.